Okay, here's, at least going in, what I think we need for the oil change. Oil catch can. This is barely big enough. I think it's about 8 quarts worth, maybe 7, but somehow we just managed to get through each time. Little oil filler funnel, 74 mil socket to get the filter off, filter itself with its rubber gasket, new rubber gasket, crush washer, drain plug. Drain plug is optional, crush washer is not. For a new oil change, that is. This is a new toy I have, which is in lieu of the standard torque wrench, it's something, an adapter I can put on my regular smaller socket, which should be able to get me into tighter places and still give me full accuracy, but time will tell. And then today we'll be putting in the Mobile 10W40 as generally approved by Porsche. I know some people like different weights. This one seems to be fine, even though we are in Arizona. So, except for what I've forgotten, these are the tools of the trade today, plus our new buddy over here. Whoop, forgive me spinning you around. We're gonna do all of this with our new buddy, the QuickJack. And my hope and expectation is this makes the job much easier. Let's find out. Here it is, trying to bring the car up, levitate off the ground for an expeditious oil change. Squeeze makes me nervous. All right, we're in the second locking position. Got some good clearance. Let's get some cardboard down, an oil catcher, get this thing done. All right, car's up in the air. Of course, the one thing I did forget to tell you about was this 8mm guy here, which is the hex bolt, which is gonna help us release the drain plug here. So get it nice and stuck in there, give it a crack. And the biggest trick here is hopefully you didn't get the engine too hot. And then secondly, how fast are your hands and how much am I gonna splash on the camera? Get ready, folks. You might get a face full. There it goes. Yeah, and like I said, bit of an overshoot there. Wow, that is a little darker than I expected. All right, so my hope and expectation is while the rest of this oil drains out of the oil pan, I'm gonna take off this filter here carefully and slowly. Take the 74mm socket we talked about, a nice long extension on your socket, and then just get it gently moving and take it down slowly. Probably gonna get to move some stuff here to catch the spills, but let's just slowly work it down. Alright, can feel it now. About ready to come off. Alright, there we go. And some good drips. A little bit more than I wanted. So that's why you wait. Move your oil pan, unlike me. It's just impatient. Come on, baby. Work your way out there. So I'm gonna have to get my hand up in here, I think, to get that out. As you can see, it's managed to make a good old mess here. I'm gonna have to move this. There you go. So there it is. A little bit of warmth. So while yet more oil escapes from the drain pan here, I'm gonna just change out this. See the gasket on here? The best way to lift it off is just get a little, find a gap with a flathead screwdriver. Get under and just ease it over. And then here's the new one right here. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of oil on this from the new oil just to help it make a better seal. So I'll just dip it in there and then run my fingers around it to give it a friendly coat. And then we will replace it as it was before. And so an easy step, but an important step if you don't like too many leaks. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this about half full, maybe a third because my liquid problem today, but I'll put about a third in there just to give the filter a start, so to speak, so it's not completely dry. So we'll just pour that in there. And then we'll go underneath. You can see roughly how much is in there. We'll go underneath, we'll set this into its housing, and then we'll torque this down to 17 foot-pounds, and you'll see that happen. So we'll take this unit, we'll submerge the filter in the housing here. Navigate it through this little labyrinth up here. And then just be really careful to thread it correctly. So once it's threaded, take it as far as you can by hand. Like I said, it's only, I think it's 17 or 19 foot-pounds. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna make a huge amount of difference to get that correctly in there as far as being seated. So let's try this little gadget here. We'll set it to 19 foot-pounds. Show you how I'm sandbagging here. Setting it to 18. Hopefully you can read that on there. 18 foot-pounds. And then on this socket on here, turn it to lock, and presumably it starts to bark at 17. Wow, it gives you a reading as you're going, 11.4. $13.7. So here's in my hand I have the drain plug and the new crush washer. So we're just gonna place that in there. Okay. And then let's give a wipe. Now it's been forced to stop the slow bleed. Okay, and then let's get this guy set. 37 foot-pounds. Get that nice and seated. All right. Little beep tells us we're good. Next step, let's go put some fresh oil in here. This is where the oil goes. And look that up. So let's replace the oil that we just stole out of here. Gonna be a little extra cautious with a full towel and some blue towels because my skills today have been challenged at best. And we'll use this funnel to drop it in there. And then that calls for about 7.5 quarts. And I'm using these big 5-quart fellas here. All right, so that makes 7 quarts, 7 and change, plus what we dropped into the filter. So let's go turn the car on, see what it's reading. Had to take the car for a little drive to try and get the oil temperature up. So let's see if it's gonna measure for us. All right, 25 seconds. The main thing is not to overfill, and my OCD will require me to be touching that top line probably, but we'll see what feedback we get. I had to take it for maybe a 2-minute drive after a little bit of idling to get it warmed up, so don't be too disappointed or nervous if it does that. So you can see there, oil level definitely needs a little help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more oil in the back there and try and get that number or that reading a little bit more favorable. So after a brief game of top up, got about 8 quarts in there, and I'm just not comfortable putting any more in there. So let's see what it gives us. Oh, like finding money. Well, that feels good. Another job well done in D-Ray's garage.